Are you ready to upgrade your pancake game so much that you're making peanut butter stuffed pancakes? Then what you can do, serve them with berries, and it's kind of like peanut butter and jelly pancakes. You're gonna like it. Start off with 2/3 of a cup of chunky peanut butter and 1 tablespoon of light brown sugar. Stir that together. You're gonna make these little discs of peanut butter that you freeze, and then when you're making your pancakes, you just drop a little peanut butter disc and hide it inside of your pancake. Each of these discs is gonna be about 2 teaspoons of peanut butter, and you can form all of your little balls and then shape them into discs if you want to for efficiency's sake, which is what I'm gonna do. You don't want them too big or you won't be able to cover them with your batter in the pan, so you get plenty of peanutty flavor from these 2 teaspoons. So then you just spread them into little discs. If you find that your peanut butter is sticking and you're having a hard time spreading it out, you can spray your little offset spatula with some vegetable oil cooking spray, or just brush it with a little bit of oil if you want to. It also doesn't really matter if it's like a perfect disc, but you don't want it to get too thin on the edges because then it'll just be hard to lift up. So try to get it so that it's relatively all one thickness. Pop these into the freezer, and then after 1 hour or overnight, you can start making your pancakes. Let's make pancakes. This is 2 cups of all-purpose flour. To that, add 2 teaspoons of baking powder and a ½ teaspoon of baking soda. This is a buttermilk pancake. It's part of our Perfecting the column in our May issue, where we made a delicious, tender, and light buttermilk pancake, and this is one of our amazing upgrades. ½ teaspoon of kosher salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, whisk that together. Now I have 2 cups of buttermilk, and to that I'm adding 1½ teaspoons of lemon juice. This ups the acidity just a little bit, which we found made a more tender and more light pancake. 2 tablespoons of melted butter, and then 2 large eggs. Probably should whisk the eggs first. I always put my eggs directly into my milk mixture when I'm making pancakes, and I always regret it because it's much harder to whisk them once they're in there with all that additional liquid. So my choice of bowl was perhaps not the best. Okay, now you can add that. Ideally, your buttermilk is room temperature, because if it's not, your butter will congeal, which is not the worst thing in the world, but it just doesn't distribute as well. Whisk your wet ingredients into your dry ingredients. As always, you're looking for a not over-mixed mixture for your pancakes, so you want to make sure that everything is combined, but not so combined that all the lumps disappear. Over-mixing causes gummy pancakes. And once again, I whisked, and I should have been stirring, and now there's stuff in my whisk that won't come out. Sorry, I don't mean to splash you. Am I splashing you with batter? Stir. There we go. You're just going to want to let this set for 10 minutes. It'll activate the double-acting baking powder in here. All right. I'm nervous. I always get nervous when I do pancakes because I always burn them. So I have this large nonstick skillet. You can use a griddle or an electric griddle, which is actually my favorite tool because it makes it so that I can't mess them up. Heat some oil. You're going to heat it till it's shimmering and then wipe most of it out. One of the keys to making good pancakes, I've been told, is not having too much oil in your pan and cooking at a lower temperature than you might think you want to. Like, I always want to cook on medium, high, or high. You have to cook these on medium. So heat the oil and then just wipe it out. You can always add more, but you actually find that you don't need to add that much, especially if you're using a nonstick skillet. You're going to spoon 2 tablespoons of batter. I'm not going to measure, but I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of batter into my pan. Spread it out. Top with a peanut butter disc, and then 2 more tablespoons on top. A long time ago, I don't know if any of you guys remember this, but I did a Father's Day recipe, which was a peanut butter stuffed French toast, which was so good. And so we thought, well, mothers like peanut butter too, so why not make a peanut butter stuffed pancake for Mother's Day? Obviously, if you wanted to, you could use almond butter if you're allergic to peanuts. So now you're looking for the normal signs of a pancake ready to flip. Looking for like bubbles around the outside, getting a little bit dry, that it moves easily. That looks good. It's time to flip. There we go. I mean, all things considered, I think I did pretty well. The thing is the peanut butter disc makes it so that the batter on top doesn't cook quite as much, so you could run the risk of that, a little bit of batter going around the edges, but that's okay. You can just scrape it up. It's fine. They're even and golden. Flip. Oh, I'm pretty excited right now. So then you're just cooking till they're cooked through. It's a little bit more difficult to tell that these are cooked through because the peanut butter inside is going to be soft. So normally if you would touch a pancake and you'd be like, oh, it feels spongy, it's done, you're going to just have to try to trust the recipe timings, which is about 3 to 4 minutes per side. I didn't put my peanut butter back in the freezer while I was making these, and it's melting already. So I suggest, like, between batches, just get it back in the freezer because you will have a little bit of an issue trying to get it off the baking sheet if you don't. Consider yourself warned. Now it's time for this mom to have her peanut butter and jelly pancakes. Stack them up. Put a little bit of maybe some butter on there because butter makes everything delicious. How about some berries? What should I have? Blueberries, a couple of raspberries, a strawberry slice. Okay, 2. And some maple syrup. Oh. Oops. Oh no. It's a pancake plating fiasco. A little maple syrup. Breakfast is served. Get into the center. Your first bite has to be from the center so you get the peanut butter. Cheers.